Hello YouTube, Victor here, and today we will finally analyze Helena, one of the highest praised music when it comes to rock and metal from the start of the 21st century. Here at my right side you can see all the stems isolated, we'll check them sonically and I'll also do an harmonic analysis, we'll check the chord progression. I think the chorus of the song, the chord progression on the chorus is one of the most special things that ever happened in music. It's really special chord progression, only four chords, but really effective. I can't think of other chords that could give the same feeling, the bittersweet and tense feeling we have during the chorus of the song. So let's understand what's really happening in this song right now. Just giving a brief context, this song is a really dramatic song that belongs to post-punk genre, pop-punk genre, or even emo-core. You can label it the way you want. The point I'm trying to make is that it's effectively punk related. And as you may know, punk is recognized to have simple riffs. They use power chords, they use ideas that are really repetitive out the way in the song. So here we have something different. Here we have a pop punk type of song that's really complex and tense. Some moments we will never expect some of the chords that will happen right here, and they give chills all the time, because in this genre it's really unique to see the chords that are being used right here. And there are two reasons why they could achieve this effect. First one is layering. The guitar layering here is spectacular. I mean, they play the power chords that we expect, but it's not just one guitar playing, and it's usually not playing the same thing. The guitars will interact. Some guitars will make like chords with octaves, and other guitar will play the lead, and other sometimes it's three guitars at the same time, and this gives the music more melodic movement and also more harmonic information, which makes it less straightforward and more sophisticated in a way, especially in the chorus. And let's first hear the vocals here, because the vocals are very interesting. So long ago, you see, I mean, I am not a vocalist, so for me it's hard to explain what's going on here, but you can clearly see that when you start a song, you don't want to start like with the compressed audio. You want an introduction, and he's using the right tools to have a very good introduction. He's using his breath. He's using a really low register here to not give you any like scary. It's the first song of the album, so you have to be prepared for what is yet to come. And you can clearly see by the waves right here, let me zoom it more, that the audio is not really compressed. You have some peaks right here. This is one peak. Let's see what this peak means here. So yeah, the T, it's really not really compressed here. You can see the attack here. So it's really sensitive microphone, and the sensitive microphone is necessary because he's literally whispering. Tired of getting again. I mean, you can see how it does decline. Like he's singing some notes, but at the same time, it's all the airy voice. Like it's all the whisper here. And you can barely notice which note he's really singing. So very dynamic way of approaching a song, which is already different from most of the examples we have in the genre. And it's you know when you hear those first little fragments that something big will happen. And also we have the guitar at the same time here. Let's hear a little bit of the guitars. It's not just one guitar, but it's all on one track. Oh my god, it's off the grid. Now it's on the grid again. You can see that the guitar is using palm mute in the lower register and using higher register notes as well. So and they are playing with a tight riff and like taka 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 taka. This is quite fast rhythm, but the guitar is also really dynamic right here. You can clearly hear the pick attacking the strings, so that's amazing. That's nice way of layering something, and with the vocals, just because that's perfect. There's nothing else, just the hi-hat here, the cymbals here in this part of the song. Let me mute the palm mute and let just the guitar, and here is just whisper. You can't like try to guess the note that he's singing, and it's very effective because depending on the word that he's speaking, he uses certain types of techniques, certain type of compression in his voice, certain type of distortion, and this is a very dynamic type of recording, and this is very effective to create dramatic events. This is very effective to create this intimate energy that we have here. And now the guitars, look at the peak of the volume here when it enters, and we have a punk type of riff. This riff is not really harmonically challenging. It's based on the first degree, the sixth degree, the fourth degree, and the fifth degree. At some point, I think there is the third degree here. Let's hear the guitar isolate. Really nice, taka taka taka. Look at this snare effect here. So it's a really straightforward song. By now, like this is important. Why this song is really basic? You can rehear the bass as well. A ton of distortion in the bass actually. The bass is really distorted, really saturated, and he's using a pick to play the bass, and some may argue that that's not the right way, but when it comes to punk music, most of the punk bands use this picking attack on the bass. It's meant to be taka 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 fast and with this kind of rhythm. So the bass is really doing what it should do in this situation. And I mean, this song is why is so important that song gets basic at first, because when it gets to the chorus, something really special have to happen. If the song started with the chord that will happen in the chorus, it wouldn't be a surprise. It wouldn't be as effective. And since the rhythm is very fast, like very straightforward, when it gets to the chorus, that the tempo goes down dramatically, the voice goes up dramatically, and also there is this little guy, which I think is the most important thing here, to give this energy to the chorus. Listen to this organ right here. 1, 5, 5 to 6, 6. It's like a chromatic approach note right there. And this chord, oh my god, it's a full diminished chord. And then 1. This fully diminished chord is really bizarre, man. Like, most of the classical music use the 7th degree, the natural diminished, half diminished chord in their music, but a fully diminished chord that resolves to a major chord, I couldn't even find an example of this. Because it's really rare and uncommon, and like the energy right here, look, you can clearly see tension and resolution, but the tension right here is too much, man. Like, it's depressing. It's absolutely out of expectations really, really dense. And why is this happening? Because in the bottom, the first note here we have, it's a C note, and look at the duration of the chord as well. It's not like a passing chromatic chord like the chord that came before, that also has the minor sixth interval, which by the way doesn't belong to E major scale. The like it's faster. It's a passing chord. Here we have this chord for quite a while before we can actually hear the resolution to E major, and it's so tense, it's so unresolved, and it's so effective. I think it's one of the most effective chords to create tension. And then it's not common, really not common, to use a fully diminished chord when we're thinking in a major scale, because this chord's borrowed probably from harmonic minor or even harmonic major. We could think harmonic major like the major scale with the minor six, the Ionian B6 scale, which is, by the way, a scale that almost never is used in music at all. And I love this scale, but they usually prefer to use harmonic minor, melodic minor, and the natural major scale. Those are the three most used scales in all music that was made. So it could probably be part of the harmonic major scale. But let's look at the frequency analysis right here. It's also quite interesting to see why is this important if we can barely hear it in the mix. The timbre is important, of course. The organ gives like this church vibe, this kind of deaf vibe to it. But here in the analysis, you can see the important effect of this thing, and it is the frequency. Oh my god, I can't even. So here you can see like 1,500 hertz, almost trying to get in 2,000 hertz, like 2 kilohertz. It's a really high frequency. It's not the notes being played that are very important, but the harmonics are louder than the notes, and those harmonics give to the chorus more impact. If you have, it's common in music production, if you have a brightest sound in a chorus, the music usually gets more effective and can touch you more because it feels fully when it has those frequencies all the way up. And with the vocals, this just gets even better. Like the harmonies being like it's singing with himself, and things are better if I stay so long. And really nice to see the guitars doing the lead, like emphasizing sometimes those diminished triads, which by the way sound so dark. And the vocal sometimes cracking on purpose to give more emotion to the music, even though he's really paying attention to the notes he's playing. Of course, he's singing perfectly, impeccably, but he's also trying to give emotion to the music, so he's not really afraid to go a little beyond he should go to have like a perfect recorded version of this music. And it does give just so much more weight, the timing, and also the way that he's open in his voice. The way he sings is really open, it's not really closed, it's not just theory. So it's really a phenomenal job. The song will repeat itself, of course. There is like a brief moment of relaxation, and in the last chorus the singer goes all the way up and crack his voice. It's amazing to hear. Let's hear it, please. Hey, things are better if I stay so long, and good night. I have no idea how he can like go so loud and so like out and stay in tune. So long and good night. Oh my god. So long and good night. and the harmonies are very important to give more emotion as well as those constant intervals. And by the way, the melody in the chorus is very important because Jared is always singing the notes from E major scale. He never go out. The guitar goes out, everything goes out. This organ playing these full diminished chords, but the melody is always on E major. So the melody is always focusing on the better notes, like to give tension and resolution. When it's playing the full diminished chord, he's actually singing the second degree, the third degree, then goes to the seventh. So the second and the seventh, like going towards the tonic. So the second has a great gravity to go. To the tonic, and the seventh degree also has gravity to go. It's like this, the major seventh degree is the leading tone, is the best note to resolve up in the tonic. So it's the last note he sings before the E major chord hits. So it's the perfect note to sing. So in terms of melody, it's really a perfect song. It's a pop song. The melody is not going out. He's not singing the minor six, even though he could, because those chords are borrowed from other scales that contains the minor sixth interval. But he's not doing this. He's making it a pop song, a relatable song that you can sing and that you can identify yourself, that you can feel. The energy and the lyrics are also really broad, even though there is a topic that is being talked about here. But the lyrics, you can like identify the lyrics in a way that the song didn't even thought of, because it's a really personal song, and the way the words are placed, it could give space to interpretation, and this gives more meaning to the song. So depending on which circumstance you heard this song, and it can have deep effect on your life. On your life, it can be a soundtrack for your life, because it's not too specific, even though it's talking about a topic. It's talking about a car crash with a person that you love, and all the concept in the album is starting right here. So there is something, but it's not really it's not rigid. It's poetic, and this characteristic is very good to make a song that belongs to eternity. It's not a song that belongs to a specific time in music industry or in our lives. It's a music that just you can hear like in 40 years, and will still gives you the same feeling or something close to it. Something close to it, because of the structure, because of all the elements here together. They form a really intense song that I think it's really, really effective, really, really, really effective. And I hope you enjoyed some of my thoughts here, and I hope this gave you some light into what to expect from a My Chemical Romance song. I think this album is worth listening, as well as the 2007 album, which is a masterpiece as well. So yes, this is great stuff. I love this band, and this is a great music. So I hope you all enjoyed and learned something here in this video. See you soon.